say that this will leave a mark on me, like every disaster has.
Misty Thomas with the American Red Cross Kentucky chapter is stationed at their chapter office in Asheville.
It's the reality of seeing it firsthand and then imagining being impacted at the level that the survivors are impacted at.
Thomas has helped in large-scale disasters before, like the 2021 Western Kentucky tornadoes and the 2022 floods in eastern Kentucky.
Every disaster is different, but every disaster leaves a wake of destruction and harm in its way to families and communities. And this is absolutely no different. I think what's different for me in this particular disaster is how widespread it is.
Thomas says they have Red Cross volunteers from Kentucky and Florida as well, helping to alleviate human suffering.
We're making sure that people have a safe place to sleep. We're making sure that people have food, that they have clean water. You know, a lot of the water infrastructure is down. Electricity is starting to come back. But the water infrastructure in some of these areas may be down for a while.
Thomas says on Tuesday they helped a woman get her mother-in-law insulin because her pharmacy isn't accessible right now.
The stories on the ground, they're really hard to hear.
The Red Cross is also helping survivors with mental and spiritual needs as well.
We're here as long as this community needs us to continue to help with that response and immediate relief.
Thomas says they're all full of sorrow as survivors fear the unknown. She says if you feel called to help, there are 3 ways. Make a monetary donation, volunteer, or roll up your sleeves and donate blood.
We know already there have been hundreds of blood drives taken off the books because of the infrastructure being down.
She says the survivors are so appreciative of all the help pouring in.
When we give them a meal, the tears that flow, it's just their immediate needs right now that need to be met. And we're meeting those needs, and it's making a difference.
Mariah Conjito, WKYT.